Good morning. It's April 5th, Monday, and I wanted to talk about market tops and what the stock market's doing. We're going to handle this a little different this morning in that I was going to have Maureen ask me some questions. We researched the markets together. I'm just going to respond to whatever she asks. So go ahead, Maureen.
It seems like the markets have been going up, and yet I feel like we've been in some of the most uncertain times. Why this surge, all of a sudden, all this money going into the markets? When do we know if it's too high?
Well, it's a good question. A lot of people think, wow, this market's just going up and up, and it must be fixed by the Fed. I don't think it's that simple. They have control over some things that affect the market, but they can't make it go up. The Fed is not tightening, though. Ever since COVID hit about a year ago, they've been loosening money, allowing more money out into the banks. A lot of it's not being lent out to people, but money is still flowing outward. So what does that mean? Rarely does the stock market take a big hit until the big institutions think that the Fed's going to start tightening, or say they're going to taper and not buy as many of their own bonds. If that started to happen, yes, the stock market is going to take a hit. Another point is that the money has to flow somewhere, and wealthy people don't want to put their money into the bond market right now. There's almost no place for it to go up anymore. It's been on a 40-year run up, and most smart institutional investors feel like the bonds are kind of at an end. And that's $100 trillion market. So that money has to go somewhere else. So a lot of it's flowing into the stock market and buying quality stocks with dividends that pay a higher dividend than the bonds are paying. Another important thing is April, over the last 100 years, is the second strongest month for the stock market on average. Doesn't mean it has to be this year, but on average, this is a strong month, and it's just the way money flows in and out in different quarters. April is a good month for the stock market, typically. If you have a lot of money and you think, where can I put it to protect my wealth? Those people or those institutions are looking at everything, real estate, the whole gambit, and the bonds are starting to come out of that picture. It's opening up other things like Bitcoin, which some people say that's a farce. You have to decide that. Bitcoin's been going up very strong, and some people feel it's a place you can hold your wealth in. But right now, the stock market's probably the best thing. We could be near a market top, and by that I mean within a month or two. Could be 6 months. I don't think the market's going to keep going up like it is right now for longer than that. I have some ideas on what you want to look for near a market top.
How do you know what sectors to be investing in if COVID is starting to go on a downturn, which is good? Will the stocks that rose up with COVID continue to rise up, or are those going to be stocks of the past?
Another good question. That's another reason the stock market's strong right now, is there is the hope out there that COVID is getting under control. We're giving vaccinations, and the GDP, gross domestic product, is going to be way up for this month and next month. As we open up, all of a sudden business is blooming again. But you have to remember the stock market looks 6 months to a year out. So the economy doing well is already baked into the market right now. From other parts of the world, people are buying our stocks right now because we're doing a better job on the vaccinations and getting COVID under control. But look out 6 months or a year, do you think we're going to be on top of the heap? That might change a little bit during that time, so you can't fall into the euphoria. Do I feel like I think things can only go up and there can be no downturn in this market? That's a bad feeling. If people in general are starting to feel that way, that's not good. That can be a top. Valuations are awfully high right now. You have to think about that. At some point, that catches up to the market to some degree. Now, there are stocks that have missed out on this whole rally for the past year, and maybe that's where some of the money will flow. The other thing is if large groups of people, the masses, start feeling like they have FOMO for the market and they've missed out and they have to jump in, that's usually a market top also. And today the market's up very strong. If this whole month the market just shoots way up, I would be looking for a market top to start forming. There are too many things coming together in the next month or two. I will be concerned about that. See you tomorrow, Dave.